Greetings, noble ones. I am Sir Eoth. Following the finale of Natlan's Archon quest, Mahwika revealed that Capitano renounced the Pyro Gnosis, confirming the Tsaritsa's orders. She plans to send another Harbinger to retrieve it. But who? We shall trace this figure's presence across Natlan since 5.0, explore their links to Nod-Krai and Mare Jivari. Since I needed to cope with Capitano's loss, let us press onward. Our first clue lies in the Phlogiston Extraction Research Center, where the Fatui, including the Polychrome 3 stars, experimented on Saurians. These inhumane studies sought the link between Saurians and Phlogiston, but even the researchers were left in the dark about their purpose. Their lord, undeniably a harbinger, kept that knowledge from them. The captive Saurians described someone clad in black fur who was very hot. Now this could imply a Fatui debt collector who fits the description and wields pyro. But let's be honest, you've seen the thumbnail. Why am I being coy? It is Dottore, perched crow on his shoulder, deranged scientific pursuits, and very hot. The man checks every box. The facility's records also mention a person from Natlan, brought there by the Harbinger. While Capitano and Auroron might seem like the obvious candidates, neither would tolerate such cruelty. But Dottore, the man who sacrifices everything and everyone in pursuit of knowledge, this is his work. Mahwika also confirmed that Dottore reacted to the fake sky's breach, which exposed the ancient moon remnants. The Fatui flocked to the area, mirroring the Extraction Research Center, where they also gathered around a celestial fragment left by Koro's fall. Koro could be a Natlanese name for one of the three moon sisters, ancient weapons crafted by the dragons who defied the heavenly principles. More on them in my next video. Dottore's presence in Natlan does not end there. Another mark he left is in the airborne workshop from Chaska's story quest. Here we hear of Tepal, a brilliant but wingless exile from the Flower Feather clan. His experiments led him to an Natlan relic, which he used to build his floating workshop thanks to outside aid. Mysteriously, every log documenting his research censors the name of his benefactor. It could be assumed that this benefactor was none other than the Dragon Sage, who wished to see another human reach for the Tonatiuh in order to get his hands on Huitzilopochtli. Consider watching my latest Secrets of Natlan video if you are not caught up on that topic. However, a key detail connects the dots. Tepal was advised to study Saurians for his phlogiston research. Who else would propose such a cruel experiment but Dottore? It is clear now that he brought Tepal to the Extraction Research Center to demonstrate his methods firsthand. After all, Dottore's obsession with knowledge and the divine drives everything he does, most likely wishing to reach the Tonatiuh to learn about the ancient weapons of the dragons. Now we reach Natlan's most treacherous land, Mare Jivari. Once normal terrain, it was scorched to ruin during the Cataclysm, turned into an ashen wasteland, haunted by the dead whales and pillars of flame. Situated at the western edge of Teyvat, Mare Jivari definitely borders the Dark Sea, the vast unknown beyond the continent of Teyvat. This is where the defeated gods of the Archon War fled 2000 years ago, though most, if not all, died of unknown reasons. Chokonma, perhaps. You might wonder, what is Chokonma? Choke on my butt. What defines the Dark Sea is both clear and obscure. Enkanomiya, for instance, lies outside the Archon's influence, making it part of the Dark Sea. Any land that breaks from Teyvat's boundaries becomes part of the Dark Sea. More recently, Mare Jivari disappeared entirely. Citlali noted its vanishing following the arrival of a titanic entity 20 years ago or so. In its place, settlements emerged where it used to be. Sound familiar? It echoes Enkanomiya's fate, once part of the surface with the first civilization that englobed the land. It was sunk underground after a war between the second descender and the heavenly principles. Perhaps Mare Jivari didn't just vanish, it transitioned into the Dark Sea, much like Enkanomiya. The adventurers who ventured there never returned, save for Hans thanks to Stanley's sacrifice. Such a place would undoubtedly pique Dottore's interest. Learning from the lost gods of Teyvat could aid his goal of surpassing divinity itself. This ties into our final mystery, Nod-Krai and the beings wielding pre-elemental powers. If you are familiar with the Crimson Moon dynasty, you know they raised orphaned children of divine descent in hopes of transcending humanity. One such child, Perinieri, beheld the Crimson Moon's horrified eye, which is not Ronova, despite the similarity, but a separate outer god tied to vengeance and spite. This moon was present during the Eclipse dynasty's fall 500 years ago, and was traumatic enough for A to reflect it in her mind with the plane of Euthymia. Arlecchino, or Peruere, a descendant of the Crimson Moon, is cursed with Bale Moon Bloodfire, linking her directly to this outer god. Interested in this? Dottore had to stop his experiments on the children of the orphanage, and Arlecchino agreed to a secret experiment. I suspect this experiment to be tied to her powers, or rather her curse, granting her flames fueled by resentment without a vision, marking it as a power predating the 7 elements. The same as for Nod-Krai. And that brings us back to Dottore's interest in Capitano. If anyone would be captivated by Capitano breaking the rules of Teyvat, who compares best to Capitano's honor and sacrifice than the one who sacrifices others for his own benefit? So, what do you think? Who will be the next harbinger to step forward? Personally, I would love to see Pulcinella and Mahuika 1v1, or Columbina exchanging lullabies with the Lord of the Night as fellow angels. Thus concludes this video. Brave travelers and scholars, Sir Eoth bids thee farewell.